Yeah, hey guys. So today we're going to really quickly look at the secret of setups. And this to me is the one most obvious place that people should be looking at when launching something new. So whether it's a directory or an authority site or any type of online community where selling back end marketing services is part of your monetization strategy. So let's look really quickly. This is an example. I'm working on a campaign with a client, just kind of helping them figure out who their ideal audience is from the standpoint of marketing. So this is a local restaurant for it. So this couple is building a directory community in a local marketplace. This happens to be in New Jersey, and their target audience is hotels and restaurants and places like that. So here you have what I would consider a setup. So this is a restaurant that is popular, that has a fair amount of name recognition in a local environment, and yet their website, if you look at their About Us page, there's no About Us, so it's just a blank thing. So I have a little what here, which is not what they have on their site. That's just a little graphic that we made on our site. Their gallery page right here also is the same. It's just a blank page. Their homepage is a picture of their menu, which is like a JPEG embedded on the homepage of their blog. So their whole entire online presence is terrible. The restaurant is, it's not a one-star pizzeria. It's actually like a real place. I mean, that has, a following and an audience, and they need something better than this, even if it's just for the appearance of being a higher class operation than they really are. So from an empirical standpoint, this is a setup, right? So if I have a directory in this local community, as this couple does, it becomes very easy to say, hey, Mr. Restaurant owner or Mrs. Restaurant owner, you have great food. We love your place. We recommend our friends and family when they're in town, check out your place. But the truth is that you're a featured listing on our recommended choice on our directory. But, we also have a web development agency, and your website, we noticed, is empty. It's not bad. It's not ugly. Both of those things it probably is, but you don't have to say that. But it is missing important, vital information that folks who don't know you, who are not, locals, because this is actually also happens to be a resort community. It's a Jersey, resort town. So a lot of their potential diners, their clients, are coming from out of town for a weekend. So it becomes very easy to tell these people, look, I mean, you're going to be noticed on our directory, and people are going to click on your link from us to you, and they're going to arrive at a page that's really incomplete. So here are some of the various options we have to change that for you, while also further elevating you on our directory as our recommended 5-star choice, or our recommendation for this type of food, or featured on the front page, or whatever it is that you choose to do. So these are plentiful. I don't care. It doesn't have to be restaurants. It doesn't have to be hotels or bed and breakfasts. It can be any niche that you choose. The entrepreneurial opportunity to help people build buzz for their brands, to actually help them do marketing that conforms to what we would all mutually agree is a best practice, is simple to do. It's ethical. You are demonstrating real value, and you are not BSing people to get them to pay you money. Now, you can create all sorts of incentives to be able to encourage, motivate, inspire people and the directory or the authority site is a great way of doing that, because when you own something that's considered a local um, authority or or a high traffic site or whatever that may be, you have the appearance of expertise that says, hey, Joe's Italian restaurant, we actually need you to have a little bit better of a website if we're going to recommend you as number one, or if we're going to recommend you as one of our top five Italian options, for this type of food for tourists or whatever the category is, whatever the article that you're writing is, whatever the listing denominations are on your directory. You can actually, actually almost an imperative to be able to say, we can't send our audience here. Much the same way that Google has very clear rules about landing pages on their results. So, I mean, you can't run AdWords if you have a terrible landing page, or if you have a landing page like this, right? Facebook, the same thing. Years ago, when I used to compete on easyarticles.com, I had thousands of articles written. I wrote literally thousands myself over the years. They had increasing, you know, levels of what was acceptable or not acceptable about landing pages, where you were sending people through the resource box of your articles. So that they became much more stringent over the years, because that's important. That's part of the user experience. So in that same respect, I mean, you can tell people the same thing with regard to your site, that if you're going to recommend or list a type of business, be it an accountant, a doctor, a restaurant, a mechanic, a candlestick maker, it matters not, that they need to have something better than this. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit, look at another example. This is another client who wants to write copy for for web development companies. So he is a web developer himself who happens to be an amazing copywriter. And so what I told him to do was to go onto Theme Forest and just find these really talented developers and theme makers whose copy is just bad. It's just empirically bad for the audience, which in this case is largely an English speaking audience. So I'm not making a value judgment. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just saying that if I am an English speaking, buyer, as most of the folks who are on that site are, and I come across this copy, this can empirically be improved in some obvious ways. So let's look. Template for portal jobs online, or something like that. All right, well, you don't want to tell anybody who's about to buy your product that, something like that is not good copy, right? And then down here it says, have a clean look and a soft look, unsightly. Well, guess what? Again, I'm not trying to be critical. They're not native English speakers, but you don't want to say a soft look, unsightly as a reason to buy your template. You want your template to be aesthetically appealing, not unsightly. This is actually the mirror opposite of what you want to say, and they're saying. So it becomes very easy. This is a setup, right? It becomes very easy for my client to say to these folks here, hey, I love your design. You guys are wonderfully talented. You create beautiful stuff. I purchased your most recent landing page yesterday. I did, however, notice that your copy could really be improved, and actually that's what I do. I'm a copywriter. So here are some examples of the copy I've written for other developers or other landing page products or other WordPress themes, and I would love to, I'd be honored to write the copy for your products. I love them, I use them, and I think you're going to see a dramatic increase in the amount of interest and sales and the audience and the brand awareness that you're going to have by dint of spicing and sprucing up your copy. All right, so this is a setup. Right? How many examples of these sorts of setups can you find? Blah, blah, blah. As a professional copywriter, a web marketing consultant, online agency who specializes in helping folks amp up their conversions with simple empirical recommendations that would benefit their brand. So what I was saying there really simply is there are hundreds of these that you can find on day one. You don't need to spend months, looking for the outliers who have bad copy online. I don't care if they're English speaking or not. There's just a lot of people who don't like to write, and that reflects in their copy. I like to think of myself as a pretty good copywriter, but there are lots of people who are far better copywriters than me who I would turn to and say, hey, I need some help, communicating the value in this particular product or program or course or content or coaching. Can you help me? And almost always those folks can step up and make an empirical improvement in my conversions, again, by dint of their own expertise, specialization, and, word mastery, wordsmithery. So let's look at what else is in this post. Yeah, that's really, those are two quick setups that you can look for. I would recommend, again, and I tell everyone this, don't trust me. Go and look and find these for yourself. If you're building a portal for real estate agents, go find real estate agents and see what you would immediately eyeball when you look at their sites about what can be improved today, right? Don't stress or stretch it. Find real things. It's like that old Hemingway, quote, which I love, which is write one true sentence, write the truest sentence that you know, right? That applies to this. You can, if something is really good and you look at it and you can't improve it, don't push it. Move on to the next one. If you find a realtor who has a great looking site, but who would benefit from having an email capture form above the fold, because we all know that's best practice. It's not, you don't have to be persuasive to say that. That's a true statement. It is true to say that having an email capture, a newsletter, a MailChimp opt-in box, a ConvertKit box, a Get Drip box, anything like that is going to improve the relationship building that professional has with their ideal audience. If you are a copywriter or a newsletter marketer and you look at 100 realtors or carpenters or accountants, you're going to find that the vast majority of them do not have that. And then all you need is 3 articles which, reflect the empirical validity that having a newsletter for conversion has the best ROI, for any profession, and you have your setup, right? They don't have something that is an industry best practice. This is what you do. This is the cost for doing it, and you're off to the races. All right. So this can or cannot be incorporated into the authority site directory model. I like to build something simultaneous to selling something, but you can just sell something. You don't have to have the the authority site behind all of this to make this whole process flow work. Okie doke. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. The 0 to 1K challenge, the launch is coming on the 5th of July. This is a fee-based coaching program. If you are interested, just click on the link below and I will fill you in. Okay, thanks so much.